Welcome to Community Mediation Services Division Virtual Parent Support Group. Community mediation seeks to empower persons to resolve conflict by giving them skills to help them through those challenges. In addition to mediation, we also host counseling, co-parenting counseling, and parent support groups. Today, the topic is understanding your strengths. Remember, talk it out, not fight it out.
Hi everyone, welcome again and thank you for tuning in to our first Parental Support Group Virtual Symposium. I am Mariah, Alleyne, and today I'm going to be sharing with you on the topic understanding your strengths. When I talk about strengths, I'm not talking about the ability to lift a tank of gas or to lift weights. No, we are going to explore strengths in a different way. Now, I know at present we are experiencing this pandemic that we never thought we would have experienced. Some of us, we may have just lost a child, a husband, or just a loved one in particular, any loved one in particular. Or we may be experiencing a bad breakup, some type of challenge. But I want you to know that we all have strengths. I want you to know that you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and that you're smarter than you think. So, as we explore strengths today, strengths, we can define it as our built-in abilities, what we've been born with, what we have inside of us naturally. There are three types of strengths. The first is our skills. So, do I have the ability to use computers? Do I have the ability to do woodwork or to build cupboards? Am I able to communicate well? Do I have the ability to manage projects well or to manage in general, be it finances or just manage an entire office? Do I have the ability to manage money well? Also, when we speak about strengths, we could talk about character and virtues. Am I compassionate? Am I flexible? Am I a determined person? Whatever I put my hand to do, I do not stop until I get it done. Am I patient? Can I continue to do things no matter if I feel irritated? You know, I work along with persons until I get the job done. Do I have close, healthy relationships with family and friends? Or do I have the ability to create strong networks and connections? But as we move along, I want us to explore two strengths in particular. The first, compassion. Compassion can be a strength. So let's ask the question, what is compassion? It is the practice of being present to the suffering of others and ourselves and responding from our heart with a desire to relieve this suffering with kindness, care, and support. So for example, if a gentleman who lives across the street from you has a stroke and he has a daughter, he's a single parent, you may make a decision to get up every day, cook, and take food over there for them. You are helping relieve the suffering of that person because he's unable to do that for himself. If you see a beggar at the side of the road, you may say, you know what? Everyone has a story. How did he end up on the street? Let me go give him some money, ask a question, and see how I can get him off of the street. So the other question is, how can compassion be used as a strength? It enlarges one's perspective and identity as they discover their commonality with others, realizing that just like themselves, others are experiencing the same suffering. So many of us, you may have lost your job because of COVID or have decreased working hours, and financially things are not going well. And when you look at the news and you go on social media, you're able to see that others are going through the same thing that you are going through. And when you recognize this, you say, all right, you know what? we will all get through this. We are all in this together, and something has to happen. Something will eventually change. It increases one's happiness, fulfillment, and well-being as they are moved to take steps to bring about changes in their lives and solve their own problems. So when we speak about compassion as a strength, we all remember that we said we are speaking about compassion towards oneself also. So you know something, I've been in this situation too long. I have been affected, my children have been affected, so I believe it's time for me to make a decision to step out of this relationship. Yes, I no longer deserve this pain, I no longer deserve this suffering. Let me go get a job, let me go to my family members, see who can help me so that I could bring about some change in my life. And lastly, it enables persons to become better connected, improving their social, ecological, and spiritual relationships, and inspiring loyalty and commitment in their regular relationships. So when you are a compassionate person and you understand the suffering of others, persons see this, and persons may say, you know what, let me go bless this person. You may be in a challenging period in your life, and they may say, you know what, let me go help them, and you are able to build, grow, and develop relationships with persons just because you've been compassionate towards others. As we move along, let's also look at flexibility as a strength. When you talk about being flexible, you're talking about the extent to which you can cope with the changes in circumstances and think about problems and tasks in creative ways and really adapt it. So, many parents, you can hear them talk about having to homeschool children and using technology. Some parents, you would also hear them talk about having to work from home. How am I really going to work from home and homeschool my children? I don't know what to do. What about if they have children who are 3 years and 2 years old? You know, they say it's terrible too. How do I get any work done at all? So flexibility speaks about being able to work through these circumstances and make the best out of it. So there are some steps involved in being flexible. So the first one is overcoming our irrational fears. When encountering change or having to be flexible, many people automatically fear that this change will not benefit them. Okay, if I have to work from home with those children, I'm not going to get any work done. I think I'm going to get fired. My boss is going to be upset with me. I'm going to be unsuccessful. And what you really have to do is sit and think through these thoughts. Am I really not going to get any work done? Is there any way I can manage what my children do while I am at home? And you will realize, yes, there are things I can do to ensure that I get work done. Yes, so many times our thoughts are irrational about the change and what is happening. So we really have to sit and work through these thoughts and question ourselves. The second thing is boost your confidence. And how do you do that? One of the most effective ways is by doing mental rehearsals. Tell yourself, you know what? I can do this. I can get through this. I can make choices that's going to cause me to be successful and have a good outcome. And you do this daily. Every time you feel pressured or stressed, you continue to rehearse these thoughts. Yes, the third thing, get involved in the change process. Participating in a change process allows you to have first-hand information about it and possibly influence the process in a way that benefits you. So don't sit at home and say, you know what, I'm going to take 3 days sick leave or 2 days sick leave because I am so afraid to even start working from home. Let me say, no, get involved and say, you know what, I'm at least going to try it today. Yes? Set new goals. Setting goals for what we want to accomplish by the end of the day or making a to-do list can get you focused and manage the change. So, sit with a pen and a piece of paper and say, okay, the first thing I have to do is get up and make breakfast. and you put a time next to it. You say, okay, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, I'll wake the children and we'll have breakfast. And then from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I'm going to allow them to play for a little while I set up the area where they would do their work. So set goals. Yes, don't look at things maybe a week down, but set goals throughout the day that you want to accomplish throughout the day. So, as we move along, how do I identify my strengths? So, when we talk about identifying our strengths or recognizing what they are, this is called auditing or evaluating your strengths. But the question is, how do I do this? First, I need you to understand that no one knows you better than you do. So, first thing you have to do is ask yourself the following question. So this is an exercise you have to do with yourself. The first thing you ask, what am I good at? I recognize every time I'm called to present, I find myself making up quotes or being very poetic. Well, maybe I'm good at doing speeches. The second thing, what have others complimented me about? When I cook for the family, does everyone say, you have a sweet hand? Yes? Or, what have others assisted me with on more than one occasion? So every time you have, let's say every time you have to do a presentation for work, oh my, you find yourself saying, oh gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to put this PowerPoint together. I'm not tech savvy. I can't use this computer. How to connect to the Wi-Fi? You're calling everybody to help you. Yes? The other thing is, what project and task seems to drain my energy? So every time I have to get a presentation done, at the end of the day or even while preparing for it, you feel so exhausted, mentally drained, ready to give up. You have to examine those things. How about, which projects have I spent hours on without getting tired? So when there's a family line or even an event in the office and I have to cook, I could stay up whole night and then go to work the next day, do the work and then attend the office event, and I don't feel, and you find yourself not feeling drained at all. So you recognize, oh yes, I spend all the time doing this and I'm okay. Yes? How about, what are your hobbies? How about asking yourself, what are my hobbies and why do I like doing them? So when you ask yourself all these questions, you are able to pull out what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. So what's the importance of strengths? So by now you may be asking the question, why do I need to understand my strengths? What is the importance of strengths? Strengths can be used to help you get through the most challenging periods of your life. For example, you may have lost your job. Understanding your strengths or being able to recognize it, you would be able to say, you know something, I can bake well. So let me call up a few of my contacts and ask them to, if they want some cakes, and I can bake cakes and sell it to them and earn an income. This would allow me to pay off some of the bills that have been piling up. Or how about that man or woman who has not been treating you well for so many years, and you've been saying all along, I can't leave him, you know, because I never worked a day in my life, I never completed school, so I can't leave. But being able to identify your strengths, you can now say, you know what, I can cook, so probably I'll go apply for a job at a restaurant and I will be able to support myself. But let me stick a pin there and mention, at Mediation Services, you can get help from our qualified social workers for such issues. Yes, so moving along, the other importance of understanding and being able to identify your strengths is that life can bring us to a place where sometimes we can feel as though we don't know what to do and where to go, as if we've lost all control and everything is beyond us. Knowing your strengths and identifying your strengths help you to feel as though you have some control of what is happening and you have some direction in which you can go to bring about a resolution. And lastly, strengths help you to think more clearly as it reduces the sense of stress, changing moments of great frustration to moments of hope, where you can now feel positive and confident and know that everything is going to be okay. So, moving on from here, I want to encourage you, whenever you are faced with challenges, tap into your strengths. Use your strengths to help you get through. Now, when I say this, I do not mean that you ignore the challenges and ignore the problems and act as though they do not exist. But what you must do is first, recognize that you've already taken steps to deal with challenges in the past and you know what they were. So ask yourself the question, what are some challenges that I've experienced 5 years ago, 2 years ago, and how did I get through those challenges? Secondly, do not focus on the problem, but recognize that you have resources within your environment. You have what it takes to get through. So for example, you may have bills piling up because you have lost your job. But again, you may recognize, oh, I have family members who I can call and they may be able to offer me some assistance. Because remember, having a strong support system is also a strength. Thirdly, recognize that in every environment, there are individuals, associations, groups, and institutions who have something to give that may be useful to help you overcome your challenges. So again, for example, at Mediation Services Division, we offer social work intervention to help you deal with family issues. Again, there are other ministries like social welfare who offer financial assistance. So there's always some agency or organization who's willing to assist. So don't be ashamed, don't be shy. You can always ask for assistance. And lastly, know that you are the experts in your life, and all that may be needed is help and some encouragement to make sound decisions and informed choices. So by now, I know that you may be asking, how do I really identify my strengths, seeing I have all of this information? Well, join in the breakout sessions and there's someone waiting to help you. Again, I look forward to seeing you at our panel discussion where you would have the opportunity to ask all of your questions. Thank you.